really love freshly painted parts. And you get to start assembling things for the final time. Anybody work out what I'm working on yet? It's actually the Cubman. I have pulled it out of its burial mound in the back of the shed and been putting things together. So there's going to be a full Cubman video soon. Today is 2 years that I've been doing this, and well, hasn't gone to plan. I knew growth of the channel would be slow, but 276 subscribers in 24 months? That's worse than a wet week. That's a COVID week. Anyway. I was going to do a live stream and show the 4 or 5 people that want to log on to have a look around the shed and answer any questions they have for my 2 years. But because I've only got 276 subscribers, it's hard to be allowed to do live streams, so this panel is done, ready for final fit up. I still want to put a little gear indicator sticker on or something, just to make it a bit different. But that looks pretty good. These rib nuts are for the seat mount, by the way, but that'll all be in the next video for the Cubman. Now, going back into lockdown again hasn't been helpful, so but I have been buying parts now. Still on the mini buggy build. I've got tail lights. It's got some cool little spotlights. Got some little mirrors for it. Now, the reason it's getting lights and mirrors is because technically it is a mobility scooter still. So, well, I'll be allowed to drive this thing down the footpaths, through town, and it's legal because it's a mobility scooter. There's a lot of stuff's changed, but technically it's still a mobility scooter, so it needs to have lights and mirrors. Yeah. I've just got these for the Brumby build. It's another set of Mitsubishi Evo strut tops. Now, the set that are in it have done maybe a kilometre, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them except for they're sitting on top of a McPherson strut with coils in it, and well, I don't really feel like stuffing around with coil compressors just to switch these out to test fit the airbags, so I decided I'd buy another set, and now I can throw the airbag struts in that I've got because mini truck. So that's that. Brumby has parts. Now, Cubman has parts too. I went and bought a new battery for the Cubman, and now I'm working on where I can relocate it to. Yeah, it's been a slow 2 years to get to this point, and well, we're here now. Anyway, let's do a little walk around, just cause. Alright, so it's been 2 years since I uploaded the first video, which was of me setting up this wall and workbench and stuff, so I thought I'd actually explain some of the stuff that's hanging on the wall, like these giant flags for instance. Now, they're from the 1960s, I think. They were part of a carnival go-kart attraction, so it was little go-karts with a fiberglass body and a little single-cylinder engine, and they were like a Ferrari 500 or Formula 500 or something like that. But when they'd retired from the carnival, they were set up in a permanent little track in my hometown. Little cement oval. It was only 10 metres by 5 metres sort of thing, but they'd cover the ground with water and they'd slide all over the place, and they were great fun. But when they closed down, these were still hanging on the fence, and when they were packing up and taking everything away, I asked if I could have them, and the guy says, you can only have one. So I got one, and I took it away and hung it up in my shed. I was pretty happy. One's better than none. But about a year or 18 months later, I was going past and the other one was still there. It had been taken off the fence and it was laying under some stuff in the grass. I spotted it there, contacted the new owner of the block, and he says, sure, just go in and take it. I don't want it. So I got the second one. So it was about 12 or 18 months between getting the first one and the second one, but I got the pair back together and they look great hanging on my wall. So I think they're roughly the 60s, so like 60 years old. The timber's definitely showing it. It's lots of dry rot happening in the ends, but they're cool. I like them. And because of the age, that's why I put the aluminium straps around them instead of just screwing the timber to the wall. I didn't really want to put extra holes in that weren't necessary. Alright, my little chopper frame. Now this is one that I picked up at a local swap meet for $20, and it's got wheels and it's got the forks. Didn't have any handlebars, so I made these handlebars instead of ape hangers in a video just a couple of months back. You can watch it right here. Or, yeah. So that will be a project sometime in the future. It'll only be a quick one. But yeah, so that's that. Now, this great big pogo stick. I originally built one, it would have been about 2002, I think. It's sitting over there. It's the other side of the shed. But yeah, original one I built in about 2002, and well, I decided to build another one because I had a enormous spring. But yeah, so you can watch the video where I built that up here as well. And yeah, I was planning on using a lot more of this pegboard for tools, but it just hasn't happened. I need more cupboard space, I think, for all paint cans and tools and things. But this actually gets used. Now this over here, that's from the COVID toilet paper video. So this is the tactical edition of toilet paper. You can watch that video up here as well, probably. Now this bag here, a bit weird, but yeah. There was a video on the Brumbity where I was trying to get CV shafts working, and I just, at the start of the video I said, if these shafts don't work, then I'm going to be pulling out my hair. And well, by the end of the video, I had a lot of hair on the table, so scooped it all up, put it in a bag, it's hanging on the wall. Just cause. Now this one's definitely had comments on it. Milner. Now, this is not mine, it belongs to a friend. Now, we're actually planning on making one, but I'm looking at making a DXF file so that I can get CNC cut sheet that'll then all just fold up and make the head of it, and then the handle will just be a piece of pipe that you put in, and we'll just be able to make a bunch of them. That'll be really cool. But yeah, so I've had a comment on this being here. Now behind that, the Cubman to-do list. There's only two things left on there, which is the guards and paint. I've done most of the paint. I've just got to make the guards and paint the bonnet, and that'll be done. So you can see this list at the end of most of the Cubman videos. I don't know which episode it started that in, but the to-do list. Now, so this here was a tube bender for the 13mm RHS that I used to build the Cubman with. So this is my $20 bender, and it worked really well for doing the small stuff, not so great for the bigger stuff, so we're getting a bigger bender. over here, Corgus. We'll turn him on. Always got to have a shed corgi on hand. Pretty happy with this sign, but it's always just out of shot and rarely gets turned on. So, fun fact, the actual logo for my YouTube channel, that little blue Just Cause logo, is actually a photo of this in the dark with all the lights turned off. Anyway, over here, this is the spot where the Cubman has sat in its burial mound with a big sheet over it and stuff piled on it. Now, it needs to get finished, so it's over the other end of the shed now. But, interesting thing, my son, he's 2 years old now, and for the last year, if he ever saw the shed door open, the first thing he did was come in here and climb into the Cubman and try to drive it and change gears with the indicator stalk, but he loves it. But it is just too powerful and too fast for him to drive at the moment. Now, up here, a bit of steel for making the Cubman's guards, but hiding in the back here, my pride and joy, my Miller Dynasty 350. Now, it's not the average sort of welder that you find in a single car garage, but neither am I, so that's what it is. Alright, next thing, look over there. So, the OMG buggy. Now, as I showed you at the start, we've got, oh hello Shed Corgi, we've got all the lights and mirrors. We don't have a speed controller for it, so I'm going to build it up as much as I can without actually being able to drive it, and then, well, if this forklift controller works and it plugs in and runs the whole thing, then that will be brilliant. Otherwise I'm going to either have to try and find another mobility scooter and pull the driveline out of that, which I don't really want to do. The other option after that would be just to get another 125 like the Cubman and mount that off to the side and just chain drive to some bigger knobby tyres, which I would enjoy it if I could fit, but I don't think my wife would let our 2-year-old drive it. And after all, this is the OMG buggy for OMG himself, so yeah. That will be getting another build video very soon. And yeah, we're going to need to paint it soon as well. So in the comments, tell me what colour you think I should paint this. Now keep in mind, I already have a bright yellow car. I don't mind the colour, but I don't think I need another vehicle that colour in my life. Now, the Cubman is coming out of retirement to get finished. It needs a full go over to sort it out and get it running again properly. Now, one of the things I have to do is get the battery out, which means I've got to pull the entire wiring loom out of here, pull the whole steering system out, and possibly even the motor to get the battery out of here. So I'm looking at different places where I could mount the battery, so I might mount it here on the side of the fuel tank, because that seems like a great idea, or over this side on the side of the fuel tank, above the fuel pump and right next to the chain. The only other place that it will actually fit in this entire chassis is on the front bumper, in behind the grille of course, but there is literally no room in this thing for the battery, so we could just put it back in where it was, but I'd rather not. All that's left on this is I've got to paint the bonnet, which is half painted. I've got to make the guards for it and paint them and mount them, and this thing will be done. So episode 49 of the Cubman build, and it will be finished. Then after that we just got to wait till COVID lockdown finishes in probably 5 years, and then we'll be able to take this out and do some ripping in various locations. So something to look forward to. But yeah, Cubman, hopefully it'll be done soon. But yes, like I showed you at the start, I've got lots of parts turned up. I've got a bunch more stuff that I've ordered that's sitting around the shed. We've got a couple of small builds planned, but leave a comment, tell me what you think I should build. Because I can build anything, it's just time and money gets in the way. So, make suggestions and I'll do what I can. Now, Shade Corgi, come here. Alright, Shade Corgi. Boop. Well, that's about all I can waffle on about at the moment, so yeah, as always, customize everything.